This is the yoga warm-up for day 3. I'm going to focus on the lower back because we've done kettlebell swings yesterday and we're about to do some more. So you start off on your knees, push back into child's pose, that's pushing your hips back as far as you can. Keep your knees together today. I did say before that you can keep your knees wider if you want to get into the shoulders a little bit more. If you want to get into the hips a little bit more, you keep the knees closer together. So keep the knees closer together and just really stretch out. Push both sides. You want to reach out with your fingertips, but also reaching back, trying to sit your bum on your heels as much as you can. Big deep breaths. 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out. Try and keep it through the nose as best you can. Good long, controlled inhale and exhale. Breath is going to be the key to a lot of it. There is going to be parts of this today is quite fast paced. Because the session is going to be quite fast paced. So we need to match that. I'll try and get a sweat on, try and get the muscles heated up quite well. A lot of ballistic movements in today's session, so I want to make sure we're prepared for that. Good. Up in the downward dog now. Pushing the hips up as high as you can. Centering through your feet, try and push through the hands. I'm going side to side here. You can do it. You can move around in this position, no problem, especially if it's the first time you've done it on a session. It's really important to move around, find all the nooks and crannies, find what's tight and work those out. It's going to be individual to each person. I tend to tighten up around my shoulders and neck, so it's something I really focus on. You see me moving my head a lot. That's just working into the corners of my neck and trying to get into that. Same thing with the shoulders. You see me playing around there, bending and re-locking my elbows and so on. So you'll just find what works for you and what you need to work on mostly in the first couple. After that, you can pretty much hold them static. That's fine. So bringing the right foot through. And from here, you're going to plant the left hand a little bit and just elongate the right arm straight up. That's turning your chest end towards your right knee. You should feel a nice twist throughout the body, throughout the spine. A little bit of stretch in the hip. Opening everything up. Stepping up then with the left leg, into a full forward fold. Exhale. Inhale, look up, straighten the back and lift the chest. And then we'll forward fold again. Into a full forward fold, breathe out. Stretch everything down. Don't force these forward folds, guys. Just let it happen. Just keep it relaxed as you can. You don't want pain in your stretches, just a bit of discomfort. Open the chair pose. That's your arms up, knees bent, bum back, and then in the full standing position. And back in the chair pose again. So elbows or hands up, full forward fold into a full forward bend. Again, exhale on those. Inhale, look up, lift the chest. Exhale again, fold forward. Kicking back or stepping back, whatever works for you in the push-up position. Hold this position. Want to prime everything up. Lower body down, and you're going to do a baby cobra. Lift the chest and look up. Move the head around if needs be. As I said, that's what I tend to do, but feel free to just stay still. That's okay as well. Push up into full downward dog again. Hips right up. Really, really push your chest through to your knees or through to your feet, towards your feet. Now as much as you can. On the second and third and so on, and more, the subsequent downward dogs, you want to push into the stretch a little bit more and more each time if you can. Maybe focus on one thing in particular each time. So left leg stepping forward. You're going to put your right hand on the floor and you're going to extend your left hand up, chest facing the left knee this time. Again, that's a nice rotation through the spine, through the hip, opens everything up. Stepping forward with the right leg again, full forward fold. And exhale. Inhale, look up, lift the chest, straighten the back. And full forward fold again. Exhale, right down. Again, don't force it, just kind of let it happen. And open the chair pose once more. Knees bent, bum back, arms up. In the prayer position or resting position. And back in the chair pose once more. Fold forward, full forward fold. And exhale. And inhale. And step back in the plank. lower body down, chaturanga. Lift the chest, baby cobra. And push back into downward dog once more. This first opening bit, guys, is kind of slow. It's just some longer stretches, trying to let you get into each position. Building the heat up gently. We'll move quite a bit quicker now soon. Right leg up, extend it up as high as you can, bring it through, step it in between the arms, back up into warrior one. That's the back foot flat, as you can see, keeping the hips facing forward and driving into that front leg. Try and extend the arms up as much as you can. What I'm doing here is I've interlocked my fingers. I'm going to use my 2 index fingers together, and this just really helps me balance. Then you're going to tilt forward and push off the back foot, coming into a full balance on one leg. I separate my hands then because I feel like I can get my arms higher up when I separate them a little bit. Just do whatever feels right for you. It's totally fine, by the way, in this position if you want to keep your arms by your sides. If it's too much to keep your arms up, that's totally fine. If it's even okay if you need to touch the foot down, that's totally fine. Back to warrior one, folding forward again, and extend the right leg now. So you're going into full triangle position. It's not triangle position, sorry. Full forward fold, but on one leg. And folding forward, exhale. Really let this get into the hamstring. You want to really focus on bending through the hip in this, not through the back, and get into that hamstring as much as you can. And rotate now. I'm going to go into a assisted side plank. So the assistance part here is this foot that's up still. My right foot is planted, turned out to the side. And you're going to rotate them. Get a nice rotation there. Bring the hand back down, back to plank position. Chaturanga, down, baby cobra, and lift the chest and heel, look up. Exhale and sit back into a downward dog. And breathe through this. Remember the exhale, extend the left foot this time. Bringing it through into the chest and plant it in front. Up into warrior pose, warrior one on the left hand side. Then interlock the fingers if you like to do that. If you don't, that's fine. I'm using my index fingers here. For some reason, this just helps me balance. Pushing off and extending up into warrior three. This is a tough one on the balance. As you can see, my knees moving around, my ankles moving around. You're constantly moving in this position. Then back to warrior one. Keep that extended, folding forward. And we're going to change into the straight leg bend. So straighten out that left leg and fold forward over. Just taking big deep breaths. Just work into that hamstring. You can use your hands to support on your ankle like I'm doing. If you don't want it, if you want to ease off on it a little bit, or if you want to get into a different part, you can do that. Hands back down. Now we're going to take the assisted side plank on the other side. So turn your left toes out and rotate up then. Putting your right hand on the floor. Hands back down. Pushing back into tall plank. Back down chaturanga. And up through baby cobra again. Difference between cobra, guys, and downward or upward dog, is back into downward dog again and hold that position. But the difference between cobra and upward dog you'll see those two mentioned. Is Cobra is the belly on the ground, hips on the floor, whereas Upward Dog is where the hips are off the floor. Try and push your chest through to your knees as much as you can. And remain, or continue, sorry, to take big deep breaths. Stepping forward on both feet this time. Full forward fold. Open the chair pose and hold. Folding forward into an extended chair pose. So extend the knees back and push in as much as you can. Push back on the hips and push forward with the fingertips. And back down to standing. Back up to standing. Hands raised. Fold forward. Full forward fold. Lift the chest up. Inhale. Fold forward. Exhale. And stepping back. Lower body down again. Chest up. And in the downward dog. You see us moving a lot through the downward dog and baby cobra in particular in this one. It's just to keep working through that spine. You see some twists in this as well. It's a lot to do with loosening off the hips and the lower back and the upper back. Extend the right leg over or up as hard as you can. Then you're going to bring it through, step it between the hands if possible, back into warrior one. Holding that position, staying strong. Really reaching and extending as much as you can. I had to readjust my back foot there, it was a bit too close behind. And you're going to bring that left foot forward, put it on top of the right knee, and go into a standing prayer pose. So this is a single leg standing prayer pose. Now sit your bum back as far as you can, and try and sit down into that as much as you can. You should feel a nice stretch here on the outside of your left hip, and some strain and obviously tension in the right. Standing up now, extending the left foot out in front as much as you can. Try and raise it up, extend the arms overhead, and back into warrior one. Oh, sorry, this is that wasn't warrior one. This is warrior two. So we transition. It's actually a crescent lunge, but we've transitioned into warrior two now. So bending that front knee, then you're going to go into graceful warrior, which is hand up overhead, leaning on the back leg. Then you're going to come forward into a forward side bend, placing the elbow on the knee and extending up with the left hand as much as you can. Trying to look underneath the arm up toward the ceiling, and that'll give you a nice rotation and opening into that front side body. Back again into crescent. And this time we're going to go into triangle posture. So that's straightening out that front leg, you straighten out the right leg. Place the right hand on the shin and extend up as much as you can. You can use blocks in this position, guys. If you have yoga blocks, you can use them. I prefer my shins personally. It's all up to you. And you're trying to keep that nice alignment going through from your head right through to your bum. So nice straight spine, and trying to side bend as much through the ribs or through the hips as you can. You should feel a really nice stretch on the hamstring here on the right hand side. Maybe a little bit of opening as well into the left front of the hip. Back into crescent again once more. Bending that front knee. And right back down again. And this time you're going to transition onto the back foot. Put all the weight under the back foot. You're going to keep it flat and push that knee out on the left hand side and stretch into the right leg once more. Another hamstring stretch. You can see here there's a lot of hamstring stretching involved, guys. It's also to try and loosen out that lower back so there's not extra tension on it. You can rotate your feet or do whatever, kind of move around in this position. I'm going a little bit deeper now, coming up with the chest. Find what works for you. back to the front again, and placing the left knee down this time, you're going to come up into a half crescent lunge. Scratch the nose. Really pushing into that, guys. Really push the hips forward. Extend, try and extend using the left glute to press into it. Pushing back now into a half split position again on the right leg. Don't force this one, just kind of let this happen. You can bring your toes toward your chest if you want that extra stretch in the calf muscles. Whatever works for you. You can place the foot down if you want more into the higher hamstrings. It's entirely up to you. Push forward back into the right leg again. Really push forward in there and stepping back into side plank. So this is the full side plank that we were preparing for earlier with the assisted side plank. Feet stacked on top of one another on the side and up. And back to front plank again and hold. Chaturanga, drop the body down. Baby cobra, lift up. Pushing up into downward dog now. Hips up in the air, drive the feet toward the ground. The heels toward the ground and extend, pushing the hands out. Want a nice extension here. You want to push your chest towards your knees, lift the left leg up this time, extend it up as high as you can, bring it through, step in between the hands, stepping back up for warrior one. Stepping forward now, and we're going to go into standing leg prayer pose, or single leg prayer pose. So you're going to sit back with your hips, placing the right leg on top of the left knee. Really sitting your hips back in this one, trying to stabilize through that left foot. You should feel a nice stretch on the right hip this time. Extending the right leg out, stretching it all off, stepping back, hands up into warrior one. Or in the crescent lunge, I keep doing that, sorry. From there, you're going to transition into warrior two. So back foot flat now, bent front knee. And extend up, using crescent. Forward, and use the forward side bend. Really reach up using that right hand, placing the left elbow on the knee. Really drive up and try and extend the arm over your head as much as you can, and try to look up underneath the arm towards the ceiling. Back to crescent again. Keep that front knee bent. You want to keep a nice stretch through the torso rather than the leg as well. Forward fold now and into triangle position. So you straighten out that right leg, place the right hand or left leg, sorry, left hand on the shin, extend up using the right arm. Make sure this left leg straight at this point. Nice deep breaths. Stand back in the crescent once more. Bending that right leg or left leg, sorry. Back down. You're going to push back into the right leg this time, into the right hip, pushing back. You can use your right elbow to kind of push that right knee out, and you're going to stretch out that left hamstring. Again, you kind of find what's right here. I'm pushing into my right ankle a fair bit there because I've had some damage in that one. So then I'm coming up into more of an upright position to help push into the hips a bit more. Coming forward, frame your foot again, both sides of it, and up into a half crescent lunge. So keeping that right knee down, you're going to press forward, you're going to extend using your right glute, pushing hips forward, extending the arms overhead. Fold forward and into a half split position. Straighten out that left leg this time and really press into it. You don't have to lock out the leg fully, but you do want to take it towards straight. Keep it as straight as you can keep it. Again, try to fold through. I'm quite upright here because I'm trying to fold through the hips rather than just rounding my back and coming forward. Back into side plank on the opposite side. So right hand down this time. 2 feet on top. Hold that position and back to full plank again. Chaturanga, drop the chest, lift the chest up for baby cobra, and back into child's pose. This time you can take your knees as close as you can, so it's a little bit closer again than the first time, and just try and really work into that back as much as you can. You want to feel it around the hips and the back here. Focus on pushing back even more so than pushing forward, so the emphasis is on that. A scratch on the head there, knee scratch. And just settle into this pose. Try and drop into it as much as you can. Let your body sink toward the floor. Extending up. Do some cat cow. Open the full plank again. And you're going to extend the left arm up and the right leg up. And you're going to try and balance on the right arm and the left foot. So keep your whole body off the ground except for your right hand and your left foot. This is quite tough, guys, so don't worry if you lose balance quite often. I'm going to change sides now. So this time it's the left leg. You can have a little rest and do some cat cow in between if you like. I actually forgot to input that. That's why I had a look at my schedule there and went back and did that, added that back in. So you can do some cat cows, just lifting the back up and then coming in the cow, inhaling, lifting the chest up. And back to plank again. Now we're going to do the opposite side, so it'll be the left leg this time and the right arm. I'm just trying to keep it nice and stable. You can see here the arm, the leg, the core, it's all working together here to try and keep me up. Same thing for you guys. And rest, back to plank again. Back onto the knees, cat cow. Reason we're doing some cat cows in between this, guys, is because we're really putting a lot of pressure through the core, through the trunk. So we're mobilizing and strengthening the spine at the same time, so we get strong throughout the full range that we have. Exhale on the cats, inhale on the cow. Check my notes. Coming forward into the cross leg position and sitting down. Just relax here for a second. Just collect yourself. That if you do those planks, then they're quite tough. You might be a little puffed out. Just collect yourself again. I've put my right shin on top this time. So what I'm actually going to do now is going to place my right shin, right foot on top of my left thigh or left knee, and just staying there. I'm just going to sit upright, and I'll feel a nice stretch in the hip. I can hug it or bring myself forward, placing the hands on the mat. All these are fine. If you want to just sit upright and feel the stretch, that's totally fine. Be careful in pointing to the knee there. Be careful not to feel too much stress or pain on the knee. If you need to move your foot further through, do that to take the pressure off the knee, or sit more upright to take the pressure off the knee. You should be feeling this more so in the left side of the hip and maybe a little bit in the right groin. But definitely outside of the left hip, the one that's on the floor should be the one getting stretched a fair bit. Folding forward. You don't have to fold forward here. You can, as I say, sit upright. taking quite a long time in this, just breathing through it, getting those hips really stretched out before we start. Changing over. I'm going to take that left leg, or right leg, sorry, out in front now, tucking the left leg in, and you're going to use this for another side bend. So you're going to grab the outside of I'm grabbing the outside of my thigh there. You can grab the inside, whatever works for you. And you're going to extend and try and reach your left hand right over towards your right toes. Don't worry, guys, I would prefer if you stay in better alignment and take the hand toward the ceiling. More like what I'm doing actually, than trying to reach over but turning your torso towards your extended leg. The torso and your chest should be facing toward the center of your, the center of your two legs. Should be facing straight out rather than towards one leg or the other. You can actually invert there and kind of face the torso toward the opposite knee, the left knee, but that would take a lot of flexibility. And placing the right leg over the top here, little adjustment. Placing the right leg over the top of the left knee again, but you're trying to plant the foot on the other side or as close as you can get. I'm hugging in my knee now. I'm taking it towards my left shoulder, so my right knee towards my left shoulder as much as I can, and rotating toward my right leg. Remember to breathe throughout all this, guys. Make sure you take long, deep breaths throughout this. Hold. Being steady. Now we're going to switch over back in the cross leg position. Notice this time I've got my left foot on top. And take a few breaths to collect ourselves again. And just relax before we go into another stretch. It's really, really important to stay relaxed while we're stretching, guys. I know we do this a lot in yoga, but it is really important so that the muscles get the most out of it. Left leg on top now, so left foot sits on top of the right thigh. You can sit upright like I'm doing here. You can come forward, hug the leg, or you can place the hands in front. Any of those three is totally fine. If you need to readjust, as you see me doing there, you can do. You can push it through. If your ankle's digging into your thigh or anything, you can move that around. Or if you feel pressure on the left knee, make sure that there is no pressure on the left knee, on any of the knees actually, guys. Pressure should be felt in the hips, not on the knees here. Knees are a hinge joint. They're meant to go forward and back. They're not really meant to go laterally. Whereas a hip is a ball and socket joint, and they're designed to move around a bit more freely. Extending the left leg out in front, tucking the right foot in toward the left thigh. I'm using my thigh here. You can go outside or inside again on this side, it doesn't really matter. And extend over for an extended side stretch. Again, keep that chest facing out from the center. You don't want it facing the extended leg. If you can face it towards the opposite knee, fantastic, but that will take a lot of flexibility, so don't worry. Just try and keep it facing outwards as much as possible. Reach the hand over as much as you can, but making sure that you're trying to stay in alignment. Now you tuck that left leg over the top of the right thigh again. Little adjustment. And extend and rotate toward your left hip this time. Any guys doing this, so they'll know the adjustments. Otherwise, it's very uncomfortable for too long. So, hugging that knee into the chest and rotate around. Don't force this. Don't overly squeeze, but just hold at the point where you feel that discomfort in the hip. And back to cross leg position. Just relax, get your breath. Inhale and exhale. And last but not least, Lie back, feet planted, so you keep the small of your back touching the floor. We've done this before, guys. It's super important. Keep the small of your back down. Extend the arms up. You can start off at 90 degrees, so straight out, or you can go up to 45-degree angle, whatever works for you. Try and keep the hands on the mat, and you're going to reach out as much as you can. You can go up past 45 degrees if you have good flexible shoulders. There's no reason why you can't actually get them totally vertical, coming straight up from your body, whilst keeping the small of your back down on the floor. I've always worked. I have extended tendons or thickened tendons, sorry, at the front of my shoulders, so I tend to have to start at 45 degrees and just build them up. You can see me slightly just moving them closer and closer together. The trick is that you feel a nice stretch across the front of the shoulder, the chest, the bicep, maybe even into the forearm muscles and the wrist. And you just let that happen at a gentle pace. We use our arms for a lot of ballistic movements in these training sessions. So it's really good just to get a nice, relaxed stretch and finish up there, guys. You're ready for the session.